Good morning and welcome. This is your Money Coach, Money Fit MD. For those that are watching for the first time, I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a money and mindset coach. And what that means is that I help women physicians like you and I understand our finances, deal with any limiting thoughts or true behaviors that could be coming in the way of our finances so that we can stop financial overwhelm. We can be financially confident and we can have choices within or outside medicine or both. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about a question that has come up recently, which is what do you do with your old retirement accounts? What do you do with your old 401ks when you're leaving a job? So this is actually interesting because if you've spent any time at all on my page, you'll know that years and years ago, I didn't know anything about money, anything about finances. 401k was like, I don't know, German to me. But anyways, as we started organizing our finances and becoming more financially confident and aware and being intentional about our finances, one thing that we did was we went to our old jobs, like our residency, fellowship, my husband's old jobs, and we kind of just decided what we wanted to do with our old 401ks. The funny thing is I actually didn't believe that I had nothing in my 401k from residency. I wasn't contributing anything. So if you're like me or if you're a resident and you're watching this, you're way ahead of the curve. So don't do what I did. Don't ignore your finances. Take it on it. Right? So now the question though is if you've left a job or residency trainings or whatever else you have money coming from, or your spouse, or you are not medical and you have all those 401ks from before, you're trying to figure out, oh, do I leave it there? What do I do? What do I not do? Am I supposed to do anything with this? So there are a couple of things that you could do. Number one is you could do nothing, meaning that you could just leave it as is in the old company that you're with. The thing to keep in mind though is that there are times when there are changes that occur in the options that the company has available or in the fees, and if you're no longer with the company, you may not be getting all the communication. So that's the one downside to leaving things as is. Leaving things as is makes sense if your expense ratio was not bad to begin with and you had good options. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check my last video that I did. It's the video on the 4 simple things the questions you need to be able to answer about your 401k. And it's really important because if you did have good options, then it's not unreasonable to leave it there. But if your goal is to simplify, if your goal is to declutter and sort of consolidate things together, then there are other options. So again, number one is you can leave things as is. Number two is you can cash it out. There is downsides to cashing it out, right? So this is things like I'm talking about your 401k. This is money that was invested for you pre-tax. You had not paid taxes on it. So if you withdraw it right now, number one is you will have to pay taxes on it. But number two is if you're if you're less than 59 and a half, there is a penalty to it about 10%. In COVID era, that has changed. The fee or the fine is being waived. So things are different if you meet the specific criteria that's been set by the government. However, under normal circumstances, there will be a fee associated if you do cash it out below that retirement age of 59 and a half. And then the third thing you could do is you could take that 401k and transfer it into your new company 401k. And that could be your new company you're working for. Even if you're self-employed, you can also transfer it there. But the thing is that makes sense if your current company has investment options that are good and that also have low expense ratios. That means that the fee is low. So it doesn't make sense for you to take something that's good and roll it into something bad. So if your good company that you're working with currently, which may be your company, is a good company with good options, then rolling your old 401k into your new 401k would be an option for you to do. Okay, so that's the third option. The fourth option you have is to take that money that you had in your 401k and roll it into a Roth option. So I want you to keep in mind that if you're bringing something from a regular 401k, which is pre-tax money, that means you had not been taxed on it, and now you roll it into a Roth option, you are going to pay taxes for it, right? So it doesn't mean that it's bad, because once you pay taxes, you're not going to pay taxes again in future. But what's important is you want to be aware so that you can make sure that you are planning to do that or suffer that tax burden now. That paying taxes right now does make sense sometimes if you're thinking in the context of your whole big picture, meaning that if you suspect that your tax bracket in future is going to be higher than your tax bracket now, they might as well bite the bullet and just pay the taxes now. However, if you're not sure, or if you think that your taxes in future may be lower, it's something that you should talk to if you have a financial advisor or an accountant that's very aware, that's something that you can talk to them about, so they can advise you on whether you should just go ahead and pay the taxes now by converting to a Roth, or you just wait till the future, meaning that this may not be the best option for you. Okay, and then the fifth option, which is the last, is you can take that 401k and convert it into a rollover IRA. So what a rollover IRA is, this is a bucket that's separate from a Roth IRA. It's separate from a 401k. It's sort of like this in between bucket where your things were transfers almost as is in some shape, in some form, in terms of like the tax burden, the tax implications. So there are no tax implications when you're going from your 401k when you convert into a rollover IRA. The only thing to keep in mind though is if you plan on doing what we call a backdoor IRA, and if you don't know what that is, feel free to send me a message. I don't think I've done a video on that yet, but if you don't know what that is, also you can just Google and check. But a Roth IRA, a backdoor IRA, is something that I truly do like. However, for you to qualify for a backdoor IRA, you cannot have anything in that rollover bucket. You cannot have any other IRAs like a SEP IRA in order to be able to do a backdoor IRA. So this may be a little bit more lingo than you're typically used to, because I try to keep things simple. However, the bottom line is I want you to think well or deeply. If you are someone that wants to do a backdoor IRA, then taking your 401k from your old job and rolling it into a rollover IRA may not be the best idea for you. I mean, worst case scenario, if you've done that, it's not the end of the world. Or if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I just want to do this anyway, it's not the end of the world, right? Because the goal is to make the best decisions you can. And when you know better, you can make a different decision, or you can reverse it. So if you do have money in a rollover IRA, it's not the end of the world. There's certain things you can do long term in order to be able to take advantage of this special thing called a backdoor IRA. However, just the point of this video is just to understand that one, you have options. Cashing out is not always the best option unless you truly know that you want to use that money for another investment. Then it makes sense. However, I don't recommend taking out of your retirement fund and splurging on it, or even buying a primary home. I honestly don't recommend that. So those are all the things that I have to share today. So just to summarize, 5 things that you can do with your old 401k to keep things simple. 1, you can leave it as is if you had a good 401k with low fees. Number 2 is you can cash it out. Only a good idea if you have a great investment thing that you're trying to diversify into. Number 3 is you can roll it over into your new 401k. Number 4 is you can take that money and turn it into a Roth option, but you do pay taxes now. Or number 5 is you can take it and convert it into a rollover IRA. And these are all things that the company that you're working with, or the investment company, like the Vanguard, Fidelity, whatever other company you have, can help you with. All right, so if you have any questions, send me a message, moneyfitmd@gmail.com. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Bye-bye.